Good evening, everyone. Back to the establishment. I am back to my office tonight, so much better quality. I hope that everybody can see me and hear me nice and powerful. Hi, Shape and Bofan Jorgenberg. You are like clockwork here. Every night, every time we connect, you are live. Just confirm everybody that we have a good audio connection so that we can avoid some of the issues that we encountered in the last episodes. So I just need an okay that we can hear each other well, and then we shall start our discussions. Let's see. All good, all good. Okay. What can I say? Tonight we should start addressing some of the questions that I started receiving regarding the EGM and the latest announcements. But first, I have to explain to everybody that one of the main topics from the agenda of the yesterday's business was to get a new headquarter, and the new headquarter and address has been registered by the Danish Business Authority. So right now we have an office address. Again, I don't know why the last one was closed. I took some notes, so I will let you know from the notes what I have. The address closed. It's in the registry correctly added, so now there shouldn't be any topic on the matter, any more problems on the matter. So we're going to go through a list of questions that I have received. I have noted down, and some of them I have also commented today on the post on LinkedIn. What is the most, let's say, common question is about shareholder value and dilution, and I will try to be as transparent as possible to the matter. And at the end, I will make also some, I would say, relevant disclaimer to all the parties, and I will show some of the internal discussions that the company has had in the last year or so after the pump and dump. I will share information from inside the company that will be clarifying a lot of the issues and questions that arose on the internet. So stick to it. You will find it extremely interesting, especially for those of you who believe that that a company is a perfect oiled machine, it should be a perfect oiled and transparent machine. And I will prove to you that it's not like that. And of course, I hope that through this proof, you would understand that I'm not trying to blame people. I will just explain it as it is, and maybe will change a little bit your opinion about how things operate in this world. So it's going to be quite an educational experience. So stick to it. Now, EGM. Like we discussed yesterday, the EGM has some important points. This is first of all we have to discuss about the board members. You have seen it's a proposal of board members that are specialized in reconstruction of businesses, especially the legal team will be very well represented by Mr. Alexandru, who will for sure have its way with the claims that the company will have and has already developed several claim strategies. The first one you have seen against Finance already submitted. We expect a very good result there quite fast. I'm not that Finance is in any shape or form going to have a chance to combat our claims. They're so straightforward. They basically lied to everybody. Everything was nonsense, and they still continue to do it. I have cut communications to Finance. I have informed that right now we talk through the trial, basically, and this requires a lot of strength from the company. I cannot be alone in this one, so I need the support of the board. I need the strength of the board, and I need to be able to count on the board, like the board has to be able to count on me. And it's a little bit of a teaser to what we will discuss on the live. So we require this board. This is not a business board. This is a war board. This is a board designed to take us out of this. Hello, Marcel. No, I have a good connection. It's in order here. Now coming back to this is a fighting board. I'm not expecting this board to last more than a year. Its role is to start the litigations, to prepare the reconstruction, to put everything in perspective. So it's a competitive board composed of people that understand very well what is happening. We have the full support of a good friend of mine, Kim Opera, who's Finnish, very well connected to the industry, and he will help us unravel the mystery about Sanako. So I would really recommend the voting of this board for 1 year. We need at least a fighting board. We'll see what comes after that. We will see whether I will continue to be in this position after that. But it's more important that we understand why we need this and how we should continue forward. Another topic that I saw it becomes extremely interesting in the last days is this dilution of the shape. And well, I have to be very sincere, very direct in this matter. Something that you will never see in a public listed company. And again, I'm telling you that a public listed company is basically a company that lies to everybody every day. The truth is not the truth that you want to hear, or the lie, not the lie that you want to see. Today, it's a very complex corporate veil of misinformation and disinformation. And I know this from experience, been working in this for many years. I understand exactly how it works. It's what we're talking about, Marcel. Everything should be fine. I asked if anybody has a problem with the audio. Should not have any problems with the audio. So I'm stopping a little bit just to confirm if everything is okay. Okay, I don't know. Anyone can confirm? Because it seems that Marcel has trouble hearing me. Okay, so others confirm that is okay. So let's continue. Coming back to the situation with the reconstruction, I just need to explain things very clearly. The reconstruction is not a process of reconstruction in the sense of the insolvency law in Denmark. It's a process of reconstructing from the ashes left to us by the trustee, who in 59 days destroyed everything that we have worked. I'm not trying to say that the company was in a perfect shape. No, the company was in a very poor shape due to the pump and dump and the situation surrounding the exit of the board members, which of course everything is going to be transparently presented to everybody in this sort of a format. I'm not in the position to say that the company was in a good state and this happened because it was purely the fault of I don't know, or the situation created by the trustee. No, the company was in a poor situation, and this is due to, and explained many times, due to the pump and dump, due to the fact that we lost face in front of the investors, and to a poor handling of the A4 crisis. And I will come back also to that point in the discussion today and clarify everything. But I just want for everybody to understand that reconstruction now looks totally different than it was maybe before the bankruptcy. So right now, the reconstruction means a complete revamping of the business model. That's why we have proposed this change into face education. We need to clean up the face of the company. Every search on LinkedIn or on Google will show you Shape is a disaster company. Therefore, rebranding is necessary at this point. Also, it's necessary to be as direct and correct with the shareholders as we have never been. And I am part of this, and I apologize right now about this situation. But right now, this has changed. People change. I'm presenting things as they are with also most likely mistakes coming in front of us. I'm for sure going to commit maybe disclosure errors or stuff like that, but I would prefer to take it as it is than to hide behind corporate veil again. Now continuing on the questions that we received, Marcel, I will answer the questions a little bit later. I will just try to explain the EGM. So the role of the company, the purpose of the company should be set exactly where it is. A holding structure, a structure that can, let's say, gain dividends out of investments and equity investments in its subsidiaries, be it in their format right now or in other formats. The reconstruction is less relevant for Shape Robotics Denmark, is more relevant for the subsidiaries. For Shape Robotics Denmark, we are talking about a few changes in the company setup, which will allow us to do a simpler consolidation of the business, simple audit. In the subsidiaries, we'll still continue to have complex auditing. The subsidiaries will be saved partially. This will be done through insolvency procedures for sure, except a couple of them that most likely Shape Robotics Poland and Moldova, we can integrate them or sell them, because we are in a phase where we want to concentrate the activity as much as possible where there is still potential to recover. So regarding the dilution is going to happen. It is going to happen, and it's going to happen especially to us. It's going to be a rename and a rebranding and a restructuring that will affect me and my family personally as shareholders and stakeholders. So the pain that you have, I will have, or the pain that we have together, or the profits that we'll do together, we'll share. We have the same common interest. I don't understand why some people lack the simplest this level of decency to understand that I could have quitted this company the second it became bankrupt and do other things. I have other projects, I have other interests, of course. I just want to make things right for the shareholders as much as possible, and for that reason I'm explaining, yes, there's going to be dilution, but it's not going to be zero, and it's going to be far away from zero. And it's a very simple thing that I've learned many years ago. It's from $0 to $1 or 1 crown, it's an infinity of a progress. So you're going to have an infinity growth phase with me as a new CEO and a new board member from the disaster that is left. So let's try to work this out. Of course, there's still the question of the claims surrounding the company. I'm pretty sure that with the good support from the board and the reconstruction process, again, not the reconstruction that the Danish investors believe we will do. We are not talking about that kind of SAS reconstruction. We are talking about rebuilding the company using also legal leverages, but or mostly legal leverages, but with a shareholder-centric approach. Nobody wants to have 4,800 shareholders getting screwed over right now. The biggest interest that we have is to try to give a shimmer of hope to those shareholders that lost completely their value to 1 month ago. So our goal is through this process is not to destroy shareholder value, because it's impossible to destroy shareholder value, as the shareholder value today is zero. So what we do is purely shareholder value and purely aligned interest with mine and my family, and everybody that is working with us has a common interest with the shareholders. So I don't understand how these commentators from the couch or Nordnet on other platforms see these things as disconnected. It is very simple, very connected. We have a direct interest, familial interest, and this is the difference between us and others. We Eastern Europeans do not separate business from life. Life is business. Business is life. Family is the same concept as everywhere. The difference is being that we do not have a work-life balance in that sense. Everything that we work together from every time that we work together, and it's always something that you can understand very easily with the mentality of Eastern European bloc. We do not separate business at all. It's everything related to to our reputation, and our, let's say, backbone, business backbone, and family backbone. So at this moment, the shareholders and um, the stakeholders and the management as is aligned, they are aligned totally. So there is no difference between us. We're fighting for the same. We're going to be diluted in the same way, or we'll make profits in the same way. So we have the common interest. Okay. Now everybody has to understand that this is proven. This is fact. There is no doubt about it. Your interest and my interest, or our interests, are the same. So whoever comments on a different path has different interests and different ideas. It's very simple. A company didn't exist 4 months ago. We reinvented it. I'm not going away from the fault that we had before, but at least I have a second chance to prove you that I was not wrong necessarily. Okay, let's take some of the questions. Of course, I will do what I promised, and I will share to you some of this information that will clarify exactly how things operate in a company, and then everybody can understand exactly in a public listed company, and then everybody can understand how it works. Okay. Let's answer some of the questions, and then we'll jump into this, and I will make it available also for the offline version of this episode. So, hello again, Cosmin, Marcel, Cosmin, Shape. Okay, let's go. Are there any risks left as of now? External threats seems like the situation is more stable. At least that is what I understand. Yes, the situation is practically stable, not more stable, because right now we have an EGM, we have everything prepared, and everything will be. It's hard to believe that anybody can stop this, even if they will try. There's a very simple principle: everything has to be done through court, and the court date is in 5 months. There cannot be another court date or court hearing on the same matter before. I think that's called litis pendens. I don't know if it's exactly the word in English. So there's a principle that says clearly that if there is a case already started on bankruptcy, for instance, in our case, you cannot have another court judging on the same matter. Therefore, 5 months we are for sure protected. Will Shape shares become face shares? No, this is not a shares swap. It's purely a rebranding. It's nothing related. It's just that we need to protect ourselves from the bad media, and as you know, we already have a trial with Finance. Until we clear our name, it's impossible to use the same. Otherwise, we don't have any partners. You can imagine that in the last weeks, I tried also to re-engage partners, restart, and some of the reason why we do this live intervention is also for the partners to understand what is going on, and a lot of them are watching these videos, asking questions afterwards, and it seems that it's much healthier for the company to not bear this name anymore, and it's still not it's also not representing the activity in the last 4 or 5 years, which is not robotics only, it's education in general. Correct. It's a renaming of the same entity. Well, the company can always buy back shares in the future if it does well. Of course, yes, it has this option to buy the shares. I'm surprised Finance stopped covering the story. They were on fire with it for a while. No, they didn't stop. They are still covering the story. I think yesterday they had a podcast, which I find it extremely amusing that it's the third podcast where they talk about Shape and they don't invite me. I don't know why. Roughly how many creditors agreed to the debt to share conversions? At the moment, I didn't have any discussion with the creditors for the debt and to share conversion. Because I don't think it's necessary to have it at this moment. As you can understand, this is a proposal that has to be done with the vote of the board when we have the shares. So I don't want to waste time and energy discussing without having an EGM approved. So, Jorgen, this is the reason. But I'm pretty sure that we have enough leverage after we have the EGM approved, because it shows unity. Right now, Shape is weak because it's only us, a couple of fighters left here. But when you will have a full-fledged EGM, then it's pressure from the shareholders board. We can have more leverage to negotiate. So right now we are fighting a little bit of a guerrilla warfare, Cosmin, any chance of getting more large investors on board? No, right now there are no discussions in that direction other than Iris. It's quite difficult to discuss that at this point, Cosmin. Good. I see no more questions popped out. Let me just jump into uh, one internal document that I think will clarify a lot of the, let's say, topics surrounding, or will bring light to some of the topics surrounding Shape and how everything went. So, first of all, everybody, let me open the document and share it to the main screen. I'm of course waiting for uh, questions as soon as I connect this. If my screen doesn't cooperate with me, I don't know why. Let's go to the questions. Any material economic reason to change it into a holding company? Yes, it's a big economic reason because right now everybody has to understand that the way the company was consolidating was that doing some sort of a process that simulated that the sales in the subsidiaries were the sales of the mother company. So it was a consolidation process that meant that every invoice from Romania was consolidated as an invoice from Denmark. It was absolutely stupid. I tried to change it for years, or try to change it. That I discussed with the board about how bad it is, this process, and how expensive and long it is. And I didn't have any support because it's you know how it is. The Danish way is the only way because others do it, but without explaining why we should not do it. Of course, right now I checked, and this is the way we should have done it as a holding. That means, just to make it simple for everybody to understand, the consolidation can be done on assets and equity, on investment. So it's very similar to what you see in the trustee doing, assets being the shares value zero. The same is an audit done with the value of the shares, and then you put this value in the basket that is the holding company. So I think it's quite straightforward rather than to show that the Danish activity is done by through these subsidiaries with this consolidating approach. It's one of the methods of consolidation through equity that is not common for Danish companies because Danish companies are not so common anywhere. So it's just a bad understanding of international way of doing business. Okay. So coming back, I think I unlocked the document that was creating the problems for me. So let me share. Any in the meantime, please drop the questions. Okay. So let's share the screen. Please let me know if you have any trouble seeing the screen. Share. Good. Everybody can see the screen. It's okay. Okay. So this is a part of our claim towards the board. As everybody knows, we have asked the AGM officially to empower uh, the management to make a formal claim against the board for negligence, and is part of this and a public disclosure. So this is an email, a set of emails surrounding the board elected company. So it was a communication advisor company called Point Communication, a very expensive advisor that costed Shape Robotics and US shareholder around 15,000 euros a month. This advisor was hired after the pump and dump situation to, let's say, uh, mellow the impact on the market, make it more digestible. Okay, it was not my decision; it was a board decision, and you can see from the dynamics of this discussion how things work with this internal discussions between the board and everything. Okay. So I will just summarize this. This document will be made public, and I think it will bring a lot of clarity. So Point Communication was represented by Jorgen Fischer and Ravn, was engaged as Shape Robotics investor relation communication advisor from end of 24, August 24, so exactly after the pump and dump investigation and the fact that the board refused to go live with that investigation. So this is, again, very important. I am not a management of the company. The management of the company under Danish regulation is the board. Okay, hi Peter. So the board of directors has been always in charge of this company, not Mark Abraham. So when the board left and Mark Abraham remained, it was because the Mark Abraham really wanted to save the company because he had an interest. When the board left, they had no interest and they wanted to leave because they knew they had made some mistakes. I don't know, Marcel, when they will resume trading. They had a deadline tonight, end of the day, to respond to our latest inquiry, which we made public also in the company announcement. So coming back to the reality, so when people are just talking about Mark doing that, Mark doing that, I don't understand why people don't talk about the board. 5 people, 4 Danish, and 1 single Romanian left to battle, and another 5 Danish that left. Why don't you ask them what they have done? It's always about Mark has done, Mark has done, Mark has done. I could not have done anything. I was hired by the board and audited by the board. Okay, so let me show you what I'm talking about. So during the engagement, Mr. Fischer-Raun advised the CEO to avoid direct engagement with Danish financial media and investor forums Nordnet. So I was completely cut from discussing with Nordnet. My approach was, when I became CEO, was to do these live interventions, and I can remember I had the Q&A almost every month scheduled. This was against the board. They wanted to fire me 2 times for this, and I still continue to do this. I wanted to explain to everybody what is happening and, of course, make full disclosure of the situation, which was completely inappropriate. Not explained. It was just inappropriate. This is not the Danish way, but you consider if it's the way or not. I would prefer, as an investor, for the management to speak like we speak now than to receive some form of report that is a big corporate lie. Hey, Mark joined late today, so you don't know. Okay, I noticed that today that the stock on my account no longer is under bankruptcy. Potentially, any small answer information. Hey, maybe they are working because it's one of the requests that they make to implement this. I don't know. Hopefully, it's a sign. What kind of platform do you use, Peter? So let me get back to discussion with this Jorgen Fischer-Ravn. He discouraged transparency and open communication with shareholders, so it was totally discouraged. Patronized the CEO during a 35-minute initial consultation, so I had the full recording. You can understand. I will present this later. It's absolutely absurd how he shouted and fought with me and about the fact that I wanted to disclose in this format information. When the CEO followed his advice, the share price declined following negative media coverage. When the CEO challenged the quality of the advice, escalated to the board of directors rather than addressing the concerns directly, filed a debt collection claim against the company to the Danish court. So let me show you the exchange, okay? Dear Shape Robotics, it's one of the emails in July 2025, okay, 2nd of July. The situation with unpaid invoice, because one of the situations that I said to him, I will not continue to pay. We want to cut the contract and not advised against the new board that this is not normal to continue because we are just paying a lot of money for bad media and extremely poor management of our situation. So we cut the contract. That he didn't want to release the contract, of course, because he said he had an agreement with the future board, and that agreement was for 2 years and stuff like that. So it was very difficult, as usual, to get out of a contract. I know Yuske Bank, Peter. So coming back to what I was saying, in the end, I wanted to cut him from the CEO, to cut him from the contract. The new board has agreed, but still look at the reactions. The situation with the unpaid invoice has taken an unexpected turn, as Mark is now refusing to pay our overdue invoices, which has been previously approved, but not by Mark. Mark suddenly wants me to reduce the invoices and admit that I did wrong as an advisor and that it is my responsibility that the share price went down based on the article in Borsen in the beginning of April. Okay, very important. So he was supposed to cover the media. While critical coverage of the cash flow and cautious investors obviously does not explain why approved invoices have not been paid. Let me just remind you that Mark answered questions from Borson in the connection with without sounding his advisors or board, despite being in the room with them. These answers were the basis for the public coverage. Yes, of course, this is the time when I started to rebel against the board. It was beginning of March and April. Nothing was working. I wanted to disclose the pump and dump, and I was still silenced, as you can see. So I was not even allowed to discuss with Borson. This is a very important proof for you. Yeah. So I answered without having the approval of the board to talk to Borson. Okay. So just food for thought. I want to emphasize that we had a constructive approach until recently without any negative feedback whatsoever. Okay, as late as today, I had a talk with Yepe saying that he didn't know what the invoices were not paid and why. I also texted with Ander today. He said that it's Mark's decision. Okay. Check my email now. Dear Jorgen, I want to address some serious concern regarding our recent interaction and the advice provided. Firstly, I must remind everyone that our initial call lasted 35 minutes, during which I felt patronized and was strongly encouraged to change my approach by you. I followed your recommendation, but unfortunately, the results were disappointing. So this is a CEO discussing with a company that was supposed to take care of the way we communicate, so that of course our share will show that. Okay. Additionally, we paid for this consultation, which adds to my frustration. By the way, the 35 minutes in which I was completely demolished by a person that I just met, I got a 2,000 euro invoice for those 35 minutes. So, which is okay. Additionally, we pay for this consultation, which adds to my frustration. Secondly, your recent statement about Mark answering questions from Borson without consulting his advisors or board is inaccurate. Furthermore, your advice was to avoid Borson altogether. So I have written proof that the consultant didn't want to talk to the media. It was only after Gulev intervened that the situation was resolved within days. So the Gulev is the other investors, that investor relation, the one that was with the company in First North. Very nice guy, very professional. He was fired by the previous board because he was also agreeing with me that we should disclose the pump and dump and come much cleaner in front of every investor with information. Very important. Okay. So indeed, he intervened. I asked him personally to take care of the situation with Borson, which was a situation surrounding some bad press regarding our share performance. But that bad press and share performance was strictly related to the pump and dump. Okay, so they were showing an irregular trading pattern, which of course shows market abuse, but they were covering it from an angle that required also our presence in the discussion. Okay. Given these points, I believe that the outcomes speak for themselves. In a typical situation, it would be more appropriate for us to discuss compensation for the negative impact rather than considering additional payments to you. Okay, so we spent like 100,000 euros in total for this, and we got zero. I must also emphasize that my role as mandated by the board is to protect Shape and its shareholders. I simply cannot accept paying for what I consider to be a substandard service. In fact, it is my fiduciary obligation to pursue all necessary actions to safeguard the company's interest, including legal proceeding if required. Should this matter proceed to court, please be aware that we will not hesitate to counterclaim and seek full penalties for the drop in the share price resulting from the advice provided. The end of the engagement is like this. Dear board, this is a very sad development. I have enjoyed working with you with its challenges and advancements over the last 9 months, and I'm fully committed to assist your developing your investor relation. Consider it your Q report is out tomorrow without my cooperation. Mark not answering my text or call, and this latest development, I assume that our engagement is coming to an end. You will get this fully transparent, and it's just part of a story that requires your full attention. You will see transparently that the establishment does not like this company. Point Communication, I understand, works for a lot of large companies, Danish Stock Exchange, and yeah, basically you will see how this works. It works the second that you want to say something, discuss with 4,000 people, to almost 5,000 people to try to address problems together, try to be transparent, you are being immediately quieted by the establishment. So just to be precise, we have a common goal together. I will do it in a very transparent way. I promise that if we are able to continue working together, you will get this sort of information, not daily, of course, because I have also my limits. Right now, I work almost 24 hours, and it's not that easy. I'm not that young anymore. But you will get this sort of transparency. And yeah, that's it. That's it for tonight, from my point of view. I hope this covers all the questions that we see online, all the question marks. So shoot, come with new questions. I'm listening. Peter, Bo, where is you? In the meantime, Prada, come here. The cat is here. Ask questions while I bring the cat over. Say hello. This is Prada. Tell me, what other questions do we have here? So when did it change, Peter, to under bankruptcy? Do you have a photo of this so I can share to Nasdaq before and after, or maybe show me when it was bankrupt and now not bankrupt? It's a good piece of evidence. I don't have access to UK Bank. Jorgen, any likelihood of claims against the court that deemed the company bankrupt? It's a good question, Jorgen, but I don't believe that the court is necessary to blame here. I believe that there could be a case there. Theoretically, there could be a case, but it should be with the surrounding environment taken into account, because you need to imagine the media pressure that the judge was under, because also the judge might have read the finance and everything. So I would assume that it's hard to go in that direction. But yeah, in Denmark, indeed, you can go against the courts. Yes, there is a possibility. You noticed today, that could be yesterday. I can try and send it to the Discord with Bo, maybe. Yeah, if you have these pictures, be so kind and share them also to me, or whatever you want. In the end, it's important that we have them as proof. It's important proof. Yes, this is very, very important proof, because UK Bank is a large bank, and if you trade on UK Bank, I'm pretty sure that they should have information up to date. And how do they show it right now, Peter? Do you have a screenshot or something so we can see? Let's check also Nordnet if there are any comments coming in today. In the meantime. Yeah, it's a battle here on Nordnet. I think that. Yeah, it's hard to follow. But yeah, in the end, people have the right to opinion. I truly believe that dialogue should have happened, like with Louise, for instance, which is progression from Nordnet, who is very vocal and doesn't have shares, or she is very vocal. Yeah, in essence, I'm an adept of open discussion because this is the way you progress, not progression being progression. So let's figure this out together. If there are no questions, of course, I will not keep you. There are no. I will disclaim this later on. Also, like every night, I put a summary in an article. I have an account where the shares were converted to after they were under bankruptcy. So I have one investment under bankruptcy, and then Shape Robotics, who no longer are under bankruptcy. So I can compare and show how it used to look. Yeah, that would be amazing, Peter. Yes, that would be amazing, and to see what date this changed, because this is an important evidence. This is an important piece of evidence. Important piece of evidence. Um Jorgen, can you check also in your account how it looks? I saw that it is still under bankruptcy in other platforms. So, for instance, Yahoo Finance. It looks okay now. You say, uh-huh, you got DNB. That's Norway, no? DNB. Okay, boys and girls. Marcel, you are so quiet. What happened? You fell asleep. I miss you. Yeah, Norwegian bank. They bought Carnegie last year. Yeah. Ah, they own Carnegie. That Carnegie is DNB. Could be nice. Yeah. Um, Good. I see that everybody. I have trouble with my connection. I'm on a bus. Okay. Well, I think this wraps it up for today. I don't have anything else to add. Please share the news about the vote. There are quite a large number of votes already in positive. Let's keep this going. I think that if we succeed with the EGM in time, uh, this changes totally. We have a very good fighting chance for the future. And of course, any ideas, any thank you, Cosmin. Any ideas, any um, plans you have, everything that you think that could help us, share it with me. Share it with me. Okay. Have a very good evening. Let's continue tomorrow. Thank you again.